Hiya, readers! My name is Whitney Mouse, and today I'm going to be talking about The Kingdom by Jess Rothenberg. As a warning, there are a few spoilers in this review. The Kingdom is a YA dystopian sci-fi fantasy title. It revolves around a theme park called My Kingdom, and a group of hybrid androids who live in the park as their walk-around princess characters called. Our protagonist is a fantasist named Anna, who, along with her fantasist sisters, has been led to believe that the world outside the park walls is super dangerous for them. So, for their safety, it's best if they don't go beyond the green light at the edge of the parking lot. As a fantasist, Anna attends tea parties, walks around the park and meets guests, participates in parades, and plays with animal hybrids, and slowly begins to notice some unsettling things. The book is told through alternating timelines going back between the present and the past about a year ago. So altogether, the book takes place over the course of about a year. At the beginning of the book, we're told that Anna is on trial for the murder of a park employee named Owen. As the book goes on, we see that Owen and Anna had a romantic relationship, and that Owen was helping Anna to investigate some of the things that she's been noticing. So, for example, that the hybrid animals are starting to get sick and die, or that some of the employees treat the animals and the fantasists cruelly because they don't see them as being real or human. There's also an incident at the park involving Anna's sister Nia, who is shut down after an incident at the park involving a small child. And this incident is the real catalyst for Anna wanting to investigate what's going on at the park. She was really close with Nia, and so this shutdown has affected her more personally than some of the other things that she's been noticing. One of the things I really loved about this book was the format. I'm a fan of the Illuminae series, and so this reminded me of that, and that it's not straightforward narrative, but it tells the book through a variety of types of writing. So we have straightforward narrative chapters, we have some that are security camera footage, we have some that are trial transcripts, and then some interviews in between. For me, this made the book more intriguing. I also feel like if you're a fan of J. Kristoff's Lifelike series, you might like this because it addresses some of the same topics. I found that when I was reading this book, it struck me as what I wanted Lifelike to be like. Rothenberg addresses some pretty heavy topics in this book, which include animal cruelty, abuse and assault, corporate responsibility, and what it means to be human. Additionally, a fantasist character attempts to shut themselves down by jumping in front of a moving monorail. Overall, I felt like Rothenberg really took the time to make sure that she treated these topics with care, which could have gone super poorly with an unskilled writer, especially the abuse part, which involves a fantasist named Kaya. So Kaya gets invited to these after-hours parties with investors, and the next morning she doesn't recall what happens. She doesn't remember anything that happens at these parties or where she's been. Some of the other fantasists make fun of Kaya because she's a little slow, she processes things slower than the rest of them, and she runs through a catalog of canned phrases. Because of this, they tend to think of her as being lesser or about to break down, like maybe she's close to being shut down. But you find out later that the reason that she acts this way and that she is slower than the rest of them is because the corporation has been wiping her memory. So after she goes to these parties, they take the memory away so she doesn't recall what happened. So she can't recall that she's been abused by the investors in the park. This situation makes what the corporation is doing to these girls just that much more horrific. They're using them as objects without their consent. And it causes Anna to question if she's ever been put in a situation like that, where they've now wiped her memory and she has no control. The other topic that I found super interesting was the issue Rothenberg addresses about corporate responsibility. After the murder trial, the question really becomes, is My Kingdom Corporation responsible for the death of this cast member because they created the fantasists? Or do you, as the employee or a guest, take on a certain amount of the responsibility, knowing what's inside My Kingdom Park and knowing that there is a small amount of risk there that you could potentially get hurt? If I had any criticisms of The Kingdom, it would be the love story. While I really liked Anna and Owen as characters, and I did feel like their love story was believable, it started to feel a little rushed towards the end. There's a twist about 2/3 of the way through the book that's a big deal for their relationship, and the way that it's handled is kind of glossed over, which makes Anna come off as a more gullible character than she's been leading up to this ending. Overall, as a reader, I just would have liked to spend some more time seeing Anna and Owen fall in love. In contrast, though, I think that Anna's relationship with her sisters was really well executed. You can see that their relationships are much deeper, and those relationships change over time. So I really liked seeing the relationships that she had with the other Fanises. The other main criticism I have of this on a second read through was just that there's some minor inconsistencies. So, for example, at the beginning of the book, Anna says that she's jealous of Eve because Eve gets to pick her dress first and she's the first fantasist. But later she says that they have a group of stylists that do that for them. So it's just small things like that. They're not going to really affect the story too much, but they were inconsistent enough that they gave me pause. Overall, I love this book. I think it's a must read, especially if you're a Disney fan or just a theme park fan in general. While it is critical of the Disney parks and some of the other parks, especially SeaWorld, it never felt like it was coming from a place of being hateful or mean-spirited. It seemed like Rothenberg just had some genuine criticisms of the theme park industry, and it really helped me as a avid theme park fan to think about that and what my responsibility as a guest is. That's all I have for today. If you liked this review, please give the video a like or subscribe to my channel.